Flashback.
I don't know, man. A lot of people, a lot of Steelers people that I listen to are taking the Chargers, man, which is crazy. Not saying it's crazy; they're a great team, um, but Herbert being hurt, man, and he can't move around that good. We got TJ and Alex Highsmith coming off the edges. We saw week one with Kirk Cousins where he couldn't move that much. They tried to improvise with doing a lot of shotguns and pistol, different things like that. I think we got a great shot to win this game. I feel very confident. I think our defense is for real. I think Justin Fields is playing exceptional football even without the stats to really back him up. Um, I think we win this game. I'm not saying the Steelers are going to win. As far as the score, I mean, through two games, we've only scored one touchdown. So, I mean, I would say we'll score a touchdown this game. I don't know. I think saying we're going to score two touchdowns might be a little generous, but maybe we get one touchdown. Maybe Najee gets his first touchdown. Maybe Pickens gets his first touchdown since the last one got wiped away. Um, and, maybe four field goals. So what's that? 19? Can I do math? Four field goals is 12 points and yeah, seven. So 19 points for us. And then the Chargers, let's give them. I want to say with the Chargers, I say they score either two touchdowns or maybe a touchdown and two field goals. So I would say it's going to be Steelers 19-14 or Steelers, 19-13. One or the other. But that's my guess. What's up, YouTube? It is Sunday, September 22nd, and this is episode 2 of the WattsCast. This is actually Sunday evening, and as I sit here today, our Steelers are 3-0, baby. Now, I don't want to say I called this yesterday, but I kind of called it. So, anyway, this won't be the longest video in the world. I just wanted to break down a couple things that I noticed. I got a couple notes I wrote down here, so I do apologize. I did kind of miss a good bit of the first quarter and a half ish of the game. I was at work, and there wasn't really a lot I could do about it, unfortunately. But I was listening to it, and I noticed it was like the first four drives. It was 3-and-out, both us and the Chargers. So it was a big defensive slugfest. I know that I can't remember if we were driving and we got a penalty and killed our drive, and then the Chargers got going. J.K. Dobbs got a couple runs that saw some success, and then of course there was, I don't know if it was a busted coverage. I mean, I guess I would call it a busted coverage. I know JPJ stepped down, or he shot down the cover the guy in the flats, or maybe like a 5 or 10 yard out, and there was another man that was streaking down the field. He caught him in between the corner and the safeties, maybe like a cover two, and there it is, a touchdown. Now we know coming into the game that Justin Herbert was limited. But I tell you what, early on, well, I shouldn't say early on, he got hot. There was one drive where Herbert, he really got hot, and that's when we saw that touchdown. Now, some things I noticed about the Steelers. First of all, if I got to start with Justin Fields, man, Justin Fields, the dude's an animal, man. I'm each week I see Justin Fields play, the more confident I am in him. At this point, after today's game, he really impressed me. I'm keeping him in there, me personally. But Justin Fields is a dog, man. He stood in the pocket. He doesn't run unless he truly feels like he needs to. He has great mobility, but the man was going back. He was taking his steps back, making his reads really well, and ripping the ball. Like that ball had some heat on it. I believe he had what? He had one touchdown pass or two. I know he had the one to Calvin Austin, but he also had the read option on the goal line for the first touchdown of the game. It's great to see. But Justin Fields is hot. I really like him. I like how he's reading the defense. I like his progression. And Justin Fields, man, he's looking good. He's looking like a steal. We got him for what, a fourth round pick, a sixth round pick. Ju- Justin Fields might be the real deal. I'm very excited to continue to watch him play this year. Now, I know that he had the one pass that got intercepted. It was kind of like, I can't remember, like, was he throwing it to Najee? He was throwing it somewhere else. It gets tipped. We try to get it again. It gets tipped again. And as we know, any ex Steeler is bound to have some type of good play or plays against us. And Bud Dupree comes up with the interception. So, hey, I mean, what can you do with the production Justin Fields provided? I'm more than willing to look over a tipped ball that got intercepted. Moving on, Broderick Jones. We knew that, unfortunately, Troy Fautanu, he's on IR. Broderick Jones is going to be filling in that spot for the foreseeable future, and I think he did good. There were some early plays where you could tell like it's mental, not physical. Where he's either missing his reads or missing, not blocking the right person. I know there was a play where him and James Daniels both blocked the same guy, left somebody to come free. I think it was on Justin's blind side. It was a play action. Najee doesn't see it either. He doesn't pick it up, and he gets sacked. But I think Broderick looked good. He looked like he had some energy out there. He's bouncing around. Like I said, his physical's looking better than it had a little bit earlier in the season. I think just as long as he gets these reps, he's going to get the mental part of it, develop that, develop that muscle memory, so he knows exactly what his reads are, and you know, he won't have those type of problems. But also sticking on the O line, Zach Frazier, man, I'm not big on like how to be a good lineman or what makes a good lineman versus what doesn't. I just watch ball and I kind of recognize that Zach Frazier, man, he's mean, he's physical, he's nasty, he wants to hit people. He looks very very good, and it was really cool to hear Tony Romo on the call in this game because he was Tony Romo's doing Tony Romo things, kind of predicting plays and saying this is what I would do on this play, this is what their reads are, is what they're looking for. And he mentioned that Zach Frazier is going to be a Pro Bowl center, and I thought that was very high praise for a guy who's only playing. This is his third game in the NFL, but he just passes the eye test. That might be one of the biggest steals as far as like second round picks. That guy's going to be he's going to be a good one for a long time to come. All right, now moving on to our skill positions. I thought Najee Harris had a great game. Jalen Warren, I was kind of expecting to get a little bit more work in this game. I didn't really see him too much. I don't know if he got hurt or what was officially going on there, but I'm sure we'll hear about that soon. But I said it yesterday, Najee, he just gets better as the game goes on. Najee's not really a flash type of runner. He's not he's not the fastest guy in the world. He's a slugger. He's a bruiser. And the longer that the game goes on, the more punishment he can lay out, the less these guys want to tackle him in the third and fourth quarter. And that's exactly what we saw today. We saw beginning of the game, he's running in the walls. There's nowhere to go. Then as the game progressed, you see him start to force his way and make his own holes to run through. And by the time the end of the game was coming, these guys they don't want to tackle that man. He's huge. And then Cordell Patterson, like, bro, what? Cordell Patterson's coming in. He don't look his age. He looks like he's got a lot left in the tank. He's explosive. He's fast, and he's a big guy. He runs right at you. And like, it's crazy to see a combination of somebody who's that fast while being such a large man. And Cordell Patterson looked great. They got him a couple plays, whether they tossed it to him or quick throw and let him run, get him a couple blockers, or just literally hand it to him in the backfield and let him go. Cordell Patterson, he had a good game as well. And our receivers, man, Calvin Austin. I was a big fan of Calvin Austin coming out of the draft. I believe he went to Memphis. He was our fourth round pick. And of course, his rookie year, he was hurt. He was starting to come back. Matt Canada said, I don't know how we were going to use him. Matt Canada. And then last year was a bit slow with the quarterback play. He didn't get a lot of targets. But this year, you could see last game they were targeting him a good bit. He had a couple first downs for us last week, I believe. Had a couple nice plays running some out routes. Today, man, he caught a couple balls inside. He caught a couple balls outside. And then, of course, the bomb. Well, I guess it wasn't a bomb, but Justin Fields goes back. He rips it right between the safety and the middle linebacker, right in that zone, before the other safety can get there, which leaves Calvin Austin that soft spot in the zone. And then Calvin Austin, he's like a 4.3 40 type guy. As soon as he got the ball started going, there's no catching that man. He was gone. And I tell you what, it was great. It was great to see Calvin Austin make that huge play. And if there's a guy that deserves to have some things go in his favor, there's Calvin Austin. I really like that guy. He's got a lot of heart, and I think that he's going to be good for our team. George Pickens. I mean, what can I say about George Pickens? He's a freak. The one play that stood out to me is I can't remember if he was running like a curl or if he ran an out route, similar to last week when the play breaks down. Justin Fields scrambles outside, he spins and goes, and Justin hit him right. He was behind the he's behind the corner after he made his essentially a double move, and before the safety got there to a touch on the sideline. I don't think any of his plays got called back this week. I think it was Moose who had an 18-yard catch that was negated by a penalty, but I don't think George had too many of those today, which is good to see. Unfortunately, he still hasn't gotten into the end zone, but just looking at the man, the eye test tells you everything you need to know. This guy is a superstar, and we don't have to force it with him. We don't have to rush anything with him. He's going to show how good he is regardless. And finally, well, not finally, because I want to talk about Muth for a second too, but Scotty Miller, man. Not a lot of Van Jefferson in this game. At first, I thought he maybe got benched. I heard later in the broadcast that I think he got hurt. Tomlin pulled him, which opened up a slot for Scotty Miller. Man, this dude can play. I don't know how fast he is, but he looks quick on the field. And his breaks, he makes good. He gets in and out of his breaks fast, creates separation. He got that third down play for us where like he broke a tackle and ran for the first down. I believe he had another play where he made a contested catch that was big for us. But I like seeing Scotty Miller out there. I would try to get some more plays for him if I was Arthur Smith. But I think he flashed today, and no disrespect to Van Jefferson, we just want to keep it positive regarding everybody here. But Scotty Miller's production today, outside of that bomb that Justin threw to Van Jefferson, where the dude held his arm, got a penalty, and he couldn't catch it. Scotty Miller seemed to be a bit more productive, but I'm glad I don't have to make the call on that. And finally, as far as the skills, Big Muth. There were a couple plays where I was helping to do stuff in my son's room, and it sounded like we were getting booed hearing the TV from the other room, but in reality, it was people yelling Muth. And I love Friar Muth. He got his money, which I'm happy about. I know we're all waiting for for him to have a touchdown, 2-touchdown game. But Muth is very consistent. He has very steady hands outside of that one drop he unfortunately had that would have picked up the first down. But how can you not love Muth? If the stadium yells your name when you make a catch, that's a pretty good sign that you are well liked in Pittsburgh. So shout out Muth, making timely plays for us and helping to keep the chains moving outside of that. outside of the one drop that we won't talk about anymore. Moving on to defense, man. What can I say? The defense is elite, elite, elite defense. Um, I I want to start with T.J. Watt, but I mean, I think we got finished on T.J. Watt. Oh, yo, pause. But starting with Nick Herbic, bro. Alex Highsmith, I thought he was playing well. He had a couple of chances at sacks that unfortunately he missed. We had a couple of opportunities at sacks. Patrick Queen had an opportunity at a pick on the same play where we missed the sack. It was kind of crazy out there. But Nick Herbic stepped in when Alex Highsmith went down, unfortunately. Speedy recovery for Alex Highsmith. Nick Herbic, he's just a straight. I don't want to call him a ball hawk because he's a linebacker. He's rushing the passer, but he's like TJ, man. He's like they study where the ball is in the quarterback's hand, and that first play just smacked the ball out of Herbert's hand. That kind of was the beginning of the end for the Chargers offense after they had that hot spurt. Then Herbic, he gets sacked. He gets that strip sack. Then he gets sacked again not long after that. He gets hobbled even worse than he already was. And the next thing you know, he's out of the game in the third quarter. So shout out to Herbic. He had a big game. He had a monster game. And he's going to have people talking about whether him or Highsmith is the guy next to TJ. That's how good of a day he had. And we all knew coming into the season how talented he was. So he just further proved that today. So that was great to see. Patrick Queen was flying around. He looked fast. He looked physical. Yeah, he had a drop pick. Yeah, the one play he shot the zone to shut down J.K. Dobbins on a third down run. J.K. makes a beautiful cut back inside, gets the first down. That's just a special player making a special play. But as far as Patrick Queen, he was one of my favorite signings of the offseason. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to get a athletic linebacker ever since Shazier went down, unfortunately, in 2017. And now we got Patrick Queen, and we have Peyton Wilson. So we got two guys that can be very serviceable in that, and we know that Patrick Queen is a Pro Bowl level type of player. So it was fun to see him in there flying around. Cam Hayward is back. He makes that extension look better and better every game he plays. It's crazy what happens when you come back from an injury to help your team. You maybe aren't healthy. The fan base kind of turns on him, says he's old, he's washed, and we all clearly know he was hurt. He was out for multiple weeks, and he's actually doing everything he can to provide something for his team. But sometimes, unfortunately, in sports, if it doesn't matter what you're going through, it just matters what you produce on the field. So it's good to see Cameron Hayward back. He's a monster in the run game. He just moves people. People can't move him. There showed a play where he started, and I don't know what the gaps are. I know it's like ABC, but he started on the left side of the center, moved through from the left to the right side of the center, and through to the guard, all in one motion, and stopped the run. Like, it's crazy. It's how big he looks out there on the field. He's a monster. But he had a very good game. I believe he had a sack. He got through and got a sack. What's he got? 2.5 sacks on the season. Big shout out to Cam Hayward. Big Cam Hayward. He had a phenomenal game. Joe Porter Jr. had a good game outside of that jump that he had. I think Dante Jackson has been playing very, very well this season. Deshaun Elliott, I think, has been having a good season. I don't think he had too much of a splash in this game like he did last game in the Broncos game, but still very solid. And then Minka, the constant pro back there, one of my favorite players in NFL. I love Minka. I love his demeanor. I love his work ethic. He didn't have too many splashes today. He did help in the run game. I noticed him getting a couple tackles to prevent third down completions today. So, Minka, it's Minka ball. I love Minka Fitzpatrick. So, overall, as far as the defense, I'm sorry, TJ. I really thought he should have got 2 sacks, maybe 2.5, or maybe it's 1.5. That play he had with Cam Hayward. TJ Watt is the best defensive player in the league. I know I'm biased, but it's 3 years, 4 years, except for the 1 year that he got hurt. He's leading the league in sacks. He helps to stop the run. He can play in coverage sparingly when you need him, and he typically makes plays when you do. It's crazy. You might put him in pass coverage maybe 10 times a year, and he makes at least 1 or 2 plays in those very limited reps. TJ is the best defensive player in the world right now, regardless of position. It's just he's just that good. He can wreck a game by itself, and he had a very quiet first half of the game. And I just knew, just let the game keep going on. They're guarding him with 3 people, chipping him, double teaming him. Eventually, they're going to mess up. There's going to be a play where they don't do it, or a play where somebody misses their assignment, and he's going to get home. And that's what happened. And TJ was able to completely disrupt and destroy drives for the Chargers, especially with young tackles that held up pretty well throughout the beginning of the game. But young tackles, and then you had a young quarterback come in to relieve for Justin Herbert. It just was inevitable. The Chargers just, and I think one of their tackles went down. I mean, what can you do when you got the best player in the world lined up across from you? It's just, it was going to happen. So shout out the defense. They look for real. They were technically the number 2 defense. We were technically the number 2 defense. The Chargers were technically the number 1, and we saw whose defense. No, shout out to the Chargers. You could see very clearly who had the better defense, and it was a very nice showing for our home opener today. So that looked really good. And finally, I just want to talk about Boswell. Boswell, the last remaining killer bee, man. I love Boswell, and Boswell's got some big Boswell balls to try that 62-yard field goal. He was perfect on the season, so that just kind of lets you know, like, this man was willing to go out there and risk his perfect field goal percentage to try to help the team win. 62-yarders aren't very common, especially in Pittsburgh. There was no wind to help him out. So it was a bit of a, he took a shot. And, that ball had a lot of leg on it. So I don't know if it was a little more to the left. It might have hit the crossbar and sneaked in. But be that as it may, unfortunately I didn't go. But I believe we kicked 2 more throughout the game. He hit both of them. Boswell, the most consistent player on our team by far, besides TJ Watt, over the last 5, 6, 7 years. Can't say enough about Bos. So overall, I thought this was a great team win. It started off a little rough. There were some people who were picking the Chargers up against us, but I just said, man, with our defense, Justin Herbert was limited. If we can get something from our offense, which I very much expected, so I don't think our offense is as inept and helpless as it once was in the past. I believe we are very capable of moving the ball and scoring points, and we're starting to build some momentum. So I love this team. I think this is going to be a fun year for us. I don't know if we're ready to win the Super Bowl, but I don't think we're not ready to win the Super Bowl at the same time. I just think we need a little bit, we need some games to gel. It's a long season. Just keep improving, work on the little things, make routine plays routinely, as Coach Tomlin said. And there's a clip here about the defense that I'm going to put in here now that I like that Mike Tomlin said. I can't remember to quote it off my head, but I'm gonna punch it into the video now, and so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
I know that our defense worries about that. They got no control over when or how they take the field. They got all the control on how they get off the field. That's the life we live. I think it was reflected when we turned that ball over, right? When that ball got tipped up in the air and intercepted, you saw the spirit in which our defense took the field. So we're not looking for comfort. We're not looking to hide on the sideline. We'll get ourselves off the field.
One turnover on the tip ball, as you mentioned, but overall.
But yeah, man, with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching with me here. If you stayed this long in the video, thank you. I'm kind of ranting and raving right now. But it was a good win. I love a Sunday where, you can go to Monday the next day and kind of brag to the guys like, hey, did your team win yesterday? Nah, I'm sorry, it couldn't be me. I'm a Steelers fan, my guy, Not to get ahead of myself. It's a long season, but, it's hard to win games in NFL. You got to enjoy your wins. Don't get too high on the wins. Don't get too low on the losses. And, let's continue to have a great season. But 3-0, baby. Here we go, Steelers. Let's go. All right. I'm out of here. We'll catch you later.